Hey everyone, welcome back to a new video. It's been a couple days since I have posted one of my workouts, and thankfully it's not due to any injury or anything. I just haven't been super motivated to edit up a lot of the workouts. A lot of times when I have workouts that don't necessarily go bad but aren't great, I usually get behind and then I lose the motivation to get all caught up, especially when the workouts aren't really like that noteworthy. So training has been relatively normal, but I kind of took a different approach to my training today, and I had a lot of success with it, and hopefully starts some just general momentum in the right direction. So I've been watching a lot of, well, I always watch a lot of weightlifting on YouTube, but I was watching some Lee Sang, which if you don't know him, he's a 67 kilogram South Korean weightlifter, and he just does tons of volume in his training. But I was counting his reps that he was doing as he was building up and kind of paying attention to what he was doing, and he was doing sets of 4, then sets of 3, sets of 2, and then sometimes I think some singles, but essentially just kind of doing that progression with the weights up. So I kind of took that approach with snatches today. I just put that I was going to do sets of 4, ended up doing sets of 3, sets of 2, and then 2 singles at the top, but just got a lot of good work in, and I was going to do these from the floor, but decided just to do a snatch and then 2 hangs for the sets of 3, and then here just a single, or a snatch plus a hang snatch. I forgot to hit record on the second set that I did with this 90 kilos, so I actually did 2 sets here. I did 3 sets with 80, 2 sets with 90, and then this was just a regular snatch with 100, and then I went up to 110 for a single there, which I was quite forward on the 110, but I was actually quite happy with how it felt. What was interesting too is after all of this work, and this was the first exercise I did, so I didn't do muscle snatches and stuff, my quad tendons, which have been kind of bothering me, and my shoulders honestly too, felt really good, and I just felt like I was getting a lot of good work in. So it was really interesting because I still kind of pushed myself pretty hard, but I kept the weights pretty light and just felt like I was moving pretty well and wasn't in a lot of discomfort. You noticed on some of the later sets of snatches I didn't have my knee wraps on. They were a little uncomfortable, but when I'm able to train without them, that's usually a really good indicator that my legs feel really good, particularly the knee quad tendon area. I did a similar thing with clean jerks, except the plan was to do clean front squat and jerk. I originally put, I think, like 3 front squats, but I decided just to do 1 plus 1 plus 1, so I could put a lot of focus in the jerk as well. I did a couple singles here at 100 kilograms, nothing that was too heavy. Actually, all felt really good, just catching it and going through the full motion and all of that, so just wasn't having any tendon discomfort, which is really good. This is, I believe, the second 100. Jerks are feeling really good, and I didn't have the wrist wraps on, so, it's just things that I just need to do more frequently during the week, because one, it's just good volume to do, like it's just a good workout, and it's one that allows my joints and tendons to kind of catch up on recovery, as well as, speed and technique development. So it's just what normal people do in training. I'm just usually bad about doing it, being more conservative in some of these workouts because I like to push myself a bit too hard all the time. Here is a single with 120. I believe I did 2 singles here. A very easy jerk, and I was getting it behind my head, which felt really good. I wish I would have held in the split, but it's fine when you're feeling good in the jerk. You kind of just want to get out of the stance and just pretend like you're moving fast. Here's a second single I did. Hands were feeling really comfortable with the bar. Felt like my wrists were like more mobile than normal. That jerk was really good. I think I remember thinking that was forward, but looking at it, it looks pretty good. And then did 1 single here with 130. Clean felt pretty good. All the cleans felt like I was catching them in good positions. It was just definitely more of like a just general strength thing if they felt a little bit more difficult, but they honestly all felt pretty easy. And the jerk there is pretty good. So a really productive session, and I actually am showing some of the accessory work, which I don't generally do, but I was doing some curl ups. For anyone that's unaware, when your hands are facing, or your palms are in like that, it's a curl up. When your hands are out, it's a pull up. And really the big difference is that your biceps are working as well as all the same muscles that work on pull ups, but it's just a slightly different. So very similar to pull up, but I just did 3 sets of 5 here. And I want to start to implement these for one, more tricep or bicep work, and also just, they're good to do as far as the pull-up movement goes. So a little not comfortable with my wrists as far as having my hands like that, but got them done, and they weren't too bad. Just 3 sets of 5, so it wasn't anything that was too difficult. And then here I did some dips, which I haven't done in quite a while. I did 3 sets of 5 as well, really trying to just get down as deep as I could to where it felt comfortable. The only really limiting factor with the depth was my feet touching the ground, so I guess I could bend my feet up a little bit more, but I was trying to be cautious with the eccentric. And I actually hit a bit of a 45. It's hard to see that, but on the other side of it, you see it's kind of shaking around the whole machine. I put a little plate on the other side just to make sure it wasn't going to tip over anything. I guess I'm just a little too thick for the tower thing there, but I was real happy with these. I usually don't do these a lot just because I get shoulder discomfort from them, but I want to try to implement them a couple times a week. I think the biggest reason that I get issues from doing these, or just accessory work in general, is that I try to do it too frequently during the week, much how I do with everything else. I do it too heavy, too often, and I don't give myself time to acclimate to one, doing it, but also just being more conservative with how frequently I do them during the week. So I want to be smarter with that, but overall I was really happy with the session. I was thinking about doing some front squats and some pulls after this, but I was happy when I finished the snatches and clean and jerks, and I wanted to kind of stop the training, the main training there, obviously the accessory work I showed you after, but I want to continue that momentum into the next day and do a similar rep scheme with sets of 4, 3, and 2, and 1, and with the front squats and pulls, and potentially do some other stuff like muscle snatches and stuff, but we'll see how that shakes out tomorrow. But real happy with this workout. That's why one of the reasons I was excited to edit it, so hopefully I can just kind of build upon this as the week goes and just feel healthier, get stronger, all that good stuff. And honestly, sessions like this are just real productive for a lot of the reasons I mentioned, but that's enough rambling on at the end there. That's it for this one, and I'll talk to you all the next one. Peace.